You're going to love this easy, no knead, no fuss bread. Hi, and you're watching Plating It with Wendy, where I share with you recipes which impress with ease. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, share and comment. And if you haven't subscribed already, press that subscribe button. And while you're at it, if you hit on that bell icon, you'll get notified every time I upload a new video. Now, let's get started. For this bread, we're going to go in with 3 cups of bread flour. You could also use all-purpose flour. And for a hint of sweetness, we're going to go in with 2 tablespoons of packed light brown sugar. Now, if you don't have light brown sugar, honey will do. And to that, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast. And now, if you do not have active dry yeast, you could always substitute with instant yeast. And to bring out all the flavors in the bread, we're going to add half a teaspoon of salt. And now let's give it a quick whisk so that all the ingredients get well mixed. Now to bring the dough together and to activate the yeast, we're going to go in with warm water. And you want the water to be about 130 degrees Fahrenheit. And I've noticed that if you put the water into the microwave for 60 seconds, you get just the right temperature. Now let's mix it and bring the dough together. This is such an easy recipe. It's not only no knead, but I would say it's quick, easy and tasty. I'm just using the other side of the ladle to bring it together so that it doesn't stick too much to the ladle. This is the kind of shaggy dough that you're looking for. Okay, now we're going to cover this up and keep this in a warm place till it doubles in size. And that should take approximately about 2 to 3 hours. Let's prep some fruit to put into our bread dough. We want to make this a little extra special. So we're going to go in with half a cup of chopped apricots and half a cup of dried cranberries or craisins. And we're going to add half a cup of raisins to that. And for some fresh fruity flavor, we're going in with the zest of 1 orange. And for some added texture, I'm going in with the zester that gives you some long peels. And for a touch of warm traditional flavors, we're going to go in with half a teaspoon of cinnamon powder, 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of freshly grated nutmeg. Let's give this a quick mix so that the fruit get coated with the spices. Now let's leave this aside and grab our dough. You can see how well the dough has risen. You can see all those little holes that have come on the top. That shows you that the dough has risen well. And also what you're looking for is this jiggle in the dough. We're generously going to dust our work surface with some bread flour. Now we're going to put it down on our clean work surface and bring it all together. Just going to give it some help here. Just going to flatten out the dough a bit so that we can place the fruit in it. We're just going to put all this fruit down over here. This bread is the quickest, effortless, most tasty bread that you will have ever tasted. So the bent scraper is going to be your best friend here. You're going to lift up the dough and fold it into the center. And we're going to do that all around. Just dusting it with some of the flour. We're going to lift this one. I'm just going to dust a little bit more flour on the top. And once again, using the bent scraper, we're going to go on folding it up. We're going to give it a few turns like this so that the fruit gets well distributed in the dough. Turning it around and folding it up. Just going to get into a round shape. We're just going to put the dough back into a bowl for proofing for the second time. And I'm using this bowl, but you can use any other bowl that you have. Just going to put a little flour on it so it doesn't stick. Now we're going to lift up the dough. Just going to place it down in the bowl. We're going to cover this with a plastic wrap and leave it to proof for the second time. But this time, it's only going to be for 30 minutes. We're going to be baking this bread in a Dutch oven. Basically, we're going to be steaming the bread. Make sure that your Dutch oven lid has a steel knob. And we're going to preheat our oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit or 230 degrees centigrade. And we're going to place the Dutch oven inside it empty so that it gets a chance to heat up before we put the dough in. Our dough has proofed for the second time. Now we're going to put a parchment paper over the bowl and turn it over. We're going to score the dough on the top so that when it steams, it gets a chance to rise. You could even use a knife to do this. I'm just using a bread lane. Your Dutch oven is going to be really hot, so make sure you handle it with care and you have your oven mitts on. And now very carefully, we're going to place our bread inside. We're going to cover the Dutch oven and place it in the oven to bake for 30 minutes. Our bread has been baking in the oven for 30 minutes. Now we're going to take off the lid. We're going to place this back in the oven now for 10 minutes without the lid on, so that the bread gets a chance to brown and crisp up. I'm so excited. This bread is looking so gorgeous. We're going to allow the bread to cool for about 2 minutes because I cannot wait any longer before we cut it. And can you hear how crispy it is? Oh my goodness, look at that. Wow, the fruits are so well distributed, and also the bread has risen so well. I'm sure it's going to be really tasty. This is such a festive bread and perfect for the holiday season. You could even put some jam on it, but I think it's perfect just this way. Wow, see the butter just melting on it. And now it's time to give our bread a taste. Wow. Oh my gosh, this is so delicious. There's such a burst of flavors in your mouth when you take a bite. And this is definitely going to be on my table for Christmas breakfast. And if you want to enjoy this as much as I do, hop onto my website, platingitwithwendy.com, where you will find the full written recipe. Thanks for watching. See you soon.